All right, composite function. So we are now in 2.3 composition. Okay, this composition is given by this symbol. Okay, small circle of x, which is also the same thing as f of. So the function in front is the one we are putting inside the other one. So here we are putting g inside f. So that's why we are writing it this way. Okay, so if you want to put f inside g, we have this. So here we are putting f inside g, and we write it as this. Okay, so don't forget or recall when we did function. Say if you have the function of x to be given as s squared plus x plus 1, and I say I want to find f of 2, all what I'm doing is to just replace anywhere I see x with what? With 2. So I have 2 squared plus 2 plus 1. Of course, I can find what that means. 4 plus 2 plus 1, which is 7. Okay. So now when we write this way, it means we are putting the whole of g inside f. Okay. The whole of g inside f. I drew this diagram before. So we have x into a function we call g of x. Then that g of x now is put into another function called f of x. Okay. So g of x serve as an input into this f of x, and then we get the answer here. Okay. Let me call it y. Okay. So that is what we are doing in composite function. Now we want to do this. So given f of t equals to t squared plus 7t plus 1, and g of t equals to 2 over t minus 1. Then we want to find f of gt. Want to find f of gt. So here we are putting g inside f. Okay. This we are looking for is also the same thing as f of g of t. Okay, please, you must learn to write properly. You must learn to write correctly whenever you are writing things in mathematics. Okay, so we have this now. So what is that going to be? Everywhere we see t in f, we are going to put the whole of g of t. Okay, so that means f of gt is now equal to 2 over t minus 1 raised to the power square raised to the power 2 plus 7 of 2t minus 1 plus 1. That is it. Okay? Of course, we can now find this will become 4 over t minus 1 square plus 14 over t minus 1 plus 1. Okay, that is f of g of t. All right, when you find the composite function, we can also ask you now to find the domain of that function, So for example now, this is, so find the domain. If you want to find the domain of f of g of t. Okay, the domain of this one again, don't forget we are dealing with t, not with x. So take note of the variable we are dealing with. Sometimes when we give you question in t, you start to write your own in x because your mind is used to x. So we are not only having variable in x. Okay, please follow the variable you are given. Follow the variable you are given. Now, in order to find the domain of this is a constant, but this has, you see, it has a function at the denominator, though constant is at the numerator. So we don't want this to be 0, and it's same thing for here. We don't want it to be 0. So, in order to find the domain of this, t minus 1 must not be 0. So if I solve this now, that means t must not be equal to what? To 1. So that means the domain of this composite function is, so the domain, is negative infinity to 1 union 1 infinity. All right, that is the domain of that function. That is the domain of the